Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we're looking at the Astra Millitarum, more specifically on, I don't know whether we're going to call this plasma spam or team plasma or something along those lines, but we're looking at plasma and kill teams for Astra Millitarum. So before we begin though, if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please get your las gun and aim at the subscribe button and destroy the bell button so that you never miss an upload. So the Astra Millitarum, the soldiers of the Imperium, they're not the Space Marines basically. There's more to it than that, but you know, here. Today we're not going to be looking at all of these backgrounds or anything like that. We're going to be looking at rules specifically, or names. Okay, so more specifically the Tempesta signs, although for a plasma spammy team you can use the special weapon squads or the infantry squad gunner. So how many can you take? You can take 4 plasma gunners with the Scions, which is the better one to take on account of the fact that they have a ballistic skill of 3+ and a save of 4+. Again, there's a maximum of 4. However, it's more than enough for what we need. And you can also take, I think, in a list I've recently done, in fact played today and absolutely destroyed, unfortunately for James, it was pretty much over from the first round. He did manage to get some morale back and kill some guys, and he was never broken even though he was down to the last guy in the last 2 turns. I suppose the moral of the story was it was pretty much done. So you could actually take, I think I took another 4 Guardsmen with gunners, with plasma guns, so you can take 3 special weapons gunners and give them a plasma gun. You can give 1 gunner from this guys and give them a plasma gun. What I also did in this list was I took a sergeant as the leader with basically las pistol chainsword. So all he was there to do was to create the not the command points, you know what I mean, the tactic points, whatever it's called. I think it is a command point, isn't it? To generate an extra command point and issue orders. I also took the Scion with a Voxcaster, and you can actually take, there was a thing in the FAQ saying you can actually take a hotshot las gun, and I believe he actually killed someone, which was quite funny. And I'll tell you why we would take the Voxcaster in a minute. So we'll have a quick look at the plasma gun itself. It has a 24-inch range, rapid fire 1, without overcharging. It's strength 7, -3 AP and 1 damage, meaning it's going to make the Space Marines special saves become a 6-up save. Going to be nearly a Guardsman. You're also going to wound on 3s along most things. If you're going up against Guardsmen and neophytes and stuff like that, you're probably going to be wounding on 2s anyway. But if you supercharge, which is exactly what it says, you get strength 8, -3 AP and 2 damage. And then it says, on an unmodified hit of 1, the bearer is taken out of action after all of its weapon shots have been resolved. So that doesn't specifically say you take a mortal wound or anything crazy like that. You're literally just removed. However, personally, I think the strength 7 -3 AP is good enough on its own to cause flesh wounds, if not there and above. However, in the last game I did overcharge and I did get lucky, to be honest, so I think I got 1-1, but I was able to re-roll it with 1s, and I'll tell you in a moment about that. So what is integral to this team is the sergeant, who has the voice of command special rule, which tells you once per battle round, so not once per battle, if your leader is on the battlefield and not shaken, they can issue an order to other members of your kill team at the start of the shooting phase. So important to remember to do that at the start of the shooting phase. To issue an order, pick another friendly Astra Millitarum model other than a shaken model within 12" of your leader, and choose which order you wish to issue from the list opposite. a model may only be affected by one order per battle. The main one we're looking at here is the Take Aim. So there is some other good ones too. Basically, Take Aim allows you to reroll hit rolls of 1 for the ordered model until the end of the phase. Bring it down does the same, but to wound rolls. Forwards for the Emperor. The model can shoot even if it advanced in a previous movement phase. So you can get up, and if you're running around with plasma guns, which I believe we said was rapid fire, you can't advance and shoot. Yeah, anyway, so it's okay. Get back in the fight, shoot even if it fell back, move, immediately move, advance as if it was a movement phase. That's pretty good. Fix bayonets, fight within 1 inch. However, as I said, we're mainly aiming at the reroll hit rolls of 1. It's probably the most useful one of all circumstances. So that's one way you can reroll 1s to hit. So if you've got a Scion hitting on 3s at best, then you can in fact make them reroll 1s to hit, which is good. So you're going to hit on 3s. You are missing on 1s, but you're only fully missing on 2s, which is pretty good. Another way to get that, so what you could do as well, so the cunning strategy, use this tactic after your leader has issued an order, your leader may immediately issue an additional order. So obviously you can't do it to the same guy, why would you? But you can do it to another guy, so you can effectively, using 2 command points, I wouldn't necessarily say that you should do it every time, but at the end of the game, or at the start of the game, if you want to do some major damage, you can do it that way, but you will use 2 of your command points. Another way to do it is, let's have a look. So these guys can be snipers, so you could give it to your standard infantry guardsman, but your Scion gunner can also take this sniper. Specialist rule. Good golly gosh, I can't speak English. How long are we on today? So currently on 7 minutes. We'll try and speed up a little bit. Anyway, we are looking for specialists, and we're going to go for the sniper one. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 for this model when making a shooting attack. So the good thing about that is you can have at best 3 models rerolling 1s to hit. So if you remember, the Scion hits on a 3 and is going to be rerolling 1s, which means they're basically going to be missing on 2s, which is a 1 in 6 chance. So you're more than likely going to hit. And because of the strength of the weapon, you're more than likely going to wound. However, again, won't necessarily say overcharge all the time. However, it did work out for me this game, but it's not necessarily a dead set. Another thing you can do with the sniper, as you can see here, is use this tactic for level 1. When you choose a sniper specialist from your army's kill team to shoot in shooting phase, you can add 1 to hit rolls for the model until the end of the phase. So you can reroll 1s, and the thing is, you're going to hit on 2s. You're only failing on 1s if you fail them on the second turn, which is pretty neat, to be honest. Another thing you can do, so if you remember earlier, I did mention that I took the good golly gosh, the Voxcaster. Where are we? And I gave the Comm Specialist, which I don't know if I told you this, but this kind of goes without saying, to my Voxcaster guy. And that, it says, 1s per shooting phase. You can do this every turn. When you pick a model from your kill team to shoot that is within 6 inches of this model. If this model is not shaken, you can add 1 to hit rolls for that model in this phase. So again, you can give another +1 to hit for another Scion. So that would mean if you used all of the tactics, right, okay. So you'd have to use a lot of tactics. You could use this in the late game if you saved some up. You could issue 2 orders, reroll 1s. You can give the scanner from the Comm Special rule the +1 to one of those models, and you can give the sniper specialist a command point and give him +1, meaning you're only going to miss on 2s. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're only going to miss on ones if you fail them. The comms, so that would be like the most amount of shots you can get. It could be super dangerous for the enemy, which is basically, it's pretty powerful, to be honest, the amount of plasma you can bring to bear on the enemy. Obviously, the world doesn't, all the best laid plans don't always work, right? So sometimes you might have you might have someone stuck behind cover, so you might be having a -1 to hit there. Okay, so instead of hitting on 3s, you're going to hit on 4s. So you're going to be like a basic guardsman, with the exception of the +1s which you can give. You're going to be hitting on 4s. If it's over 12 inches away, you're going to be hitting on 5s with the addition of the terrain. Now, you can get around this by moving about in the correct thingy, hiding and camping out behind cover. And the good thing about the plasma guns is because it's a rapid fire weapon, there's no negatives, no minuses to hit for moving and basically moving and shooting. If anything, it rewards that behaviour. So you can get out of cover, get out of the to hit range, let your enemy move around and about, as long as they don't get close enough to you. You can then pop back out, or relatively back out, and then take a shot at them when it's your turn to do so. Because obviously all readied fighters shoot first, meaning you can get the strategic if I can speak English, advantage by hiding the first bit. Obviously you have to get the right amount of cover, so you can't physically be seen from any angle, and then you pop out so you can just see them. So obviously it's a little bit cheesy. It's not really cheesy to be honest, but it's a little bit cowardly. But you know, the Scions are more tactical than their brethren. But the other good thing is it does mean your other gunners, basically the rest of your team, is going to have a massive punch compared to their standard las guns. And even, as I was saying, with a Comm Specialist I took, which was the Voxcaster with his hotshot las gun, was able to kill a Grey Knight, and we got lucky on the injury roll, insanely lucky. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to do anything. It's on his strength 3. He hits, boom, wounds on a 5, boom, fails his save. I think he got a 2 on a 5-up save. And then the damage was, I think, a 4 or a 5 again, and basically took him out of action. So it was a bit demoralising, but it was very, very good. I suppose what I'm getting out there specifically is that you can still get your your standard gunners, even your plebs, if you will, you're hitting on 4s 50% of the time normally, are going to actually do some damage when they actually hit, which is a little bit crazy. How long are we on? We're on 13 minutes at the minute. Okay, so what we'll do is, so that basically, we'll have a quick look and see if there's any ways you can increase that a little bit more. Have another look at the tactics, but I don't think there's anything else. Rolls D3, and that is get down, so -1 to hit. So again, you can make them all survivable. It's pretty good. Use this tactic when declared. Model charge, it hits on a 5 or 6. So again, if you want to go down swinging, that's a good tactic, but it's 2 command points, and you're going to basically hit 33.333% of the time, a 5 or 6. So that's good. And the reroll of 1s doesn't count unless you're a sniper, but I think again that says in the shooting phase, doesn't it? So we're going to have a quick look through the specialists and see if there is actually... Ooh, one moment. Right, we're going to have a quick look at the mainly specific the Scions, and they can take... it says the gunner only can take... So Tempester only can take the leader. The gunner can take demolition, heavy, comms, medic. Basically, you can take all of them. The gunners, and you know you're going to be maxing them out. So you can take heavy, comms, medic, scout, or sniper, or veteran. I think the main offensive ones we're going to be looking at is like heavy. So you don't have to take the heavy one, and the main background roll of level 1 is not going to be doing much for you. However, so we've already discussed the comms. So we know what that is. This one subtracts 1 from nerve test, which is alright, but we're talking about offensive here. Demolitions. You can add 1 to wound rolls for that model's ranged weapons. Basically, if someone's in cover, which is good. No, that is ignore me. That's a command point which you can use. It's still usable, still doable. It says you can add 1 to this model's wound rolls against targets that are obscured. So you can make the non-supercharged plasma gun hit and wound on 2s anyway against most things. And it says when you pick a sort of tactic, this is the one I was trying to get right, but I didn't. When you pick a Demolition Specialist from your kill team to shoot in the shooter phase, you can add 1 to wound rolls for this model's ranged weapons in this phase. So again, you can add 2. I mean, it's a little bit insane for you plasma gunners. I'll probably leave it for someone else who's a little bit less armed, so you can effectively, if someone is in cover, or if they're not in cover, because you can add 1 or you can add 2 if they are in cover, principally speaking. So I'd probably stick away from that one. The heavy, so again, it says no -1 for shooting with heavy after moving in the preceding movement phase, or for shooting assault weapon after advancing. So the plasma gun isn't an assault weapon, so that's, the background rule isn't going to help. However, the command point, I believe, it says shooting phase, you can add 1 to the number of shots fired by that model's ranged weapon, with the exception of weapons that would otherwise fire 1 shot. E.g., assault 2 weapon would fire 3 shots, but a rapid fire 1 weapon at long range would fire 1 shot. Okay, so this wouldn't in this shooting phase. Okay, that's that. Okay, so that's not that good. So don't go with heavies. Definitely don't go with heavies. We said medic, but medic's not going to happen with your plasma gunners. What else was I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was mainly heavies I was going to be looking at. I think the scout's going to help. Reroll advances. About 2 inches. Okay, so not that great. We've gone over the sniper. There's no point in talking about that today. I think there was a veteran, but again, that's not going to help us. First battle round, can make a normal move or advance. Okay, so not that great. I mean, you could. Yeah, okay. So the veteran, you could use the tactic. At the start of the first battle round, but before initiative test phase, good gosh, pick a veteran specialist. You can make a normal move or advance. You can only use this tactic once per battle. Well, obviously, because you're doing it at the start. I suppose, yeah. You can only use it once anyway, so it can shut up. Ignore me. There's no zealot. Right, okay, so principally, the main guys you're going to be aiming at is... You're going to be aiming for the sniper. You can have a Comm Specialist to buff them. You can have your leader to buff them. And there's the possibility of the demolition, but he's not really going to be doing much for your plasma. You don't really need him with your plasma. What you need him with is like grenade launchers, flamers, snipers even, would be pretty awesome with that. And just, you know, overall, you're going to be aiming at your sniper specialist and your... What's the other one? I can't remember now. Come along. We'll go back to have a little look at the Astra Millitarum. There's more than one build, okay? So there's more than one build with the Astra Millitarum. You don't have to go plasma, and it did feel a little bit cheap winning with plasma because there was that much heavy weaponry. However, it is the guard. They are allowed it. It isn't like... I don't know. It's not like I'm actually cheating. I don't know how I feel. I think I'm going to change my tactic for the next turn, but I might bring it back for another game so I'm not constantly just hammering down with my plasma. But I think if I was going to any competitive games, I would bring the team plasma. To be honest, they were pretty darn effective. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like we're tapering off now, and you know, you can bring a Scion gunner with a plasma pistol. You could bring a a sergeant with a plasma pistol, but I think that would be possibly overkill. But I think we are comfortably fit. I think it was 4 normal plasma gunners and 4 scion gunners, a comm specialist and a sergeant in a team. I think it was 99 points something, somewhere in that region, and it performed very well. I might do another video at another day, because I think I might like to do one on the melter gun, because I think the melter gun's a little bit insane, but I think we'll save that for another day, to be honest. So we'll call it there. Let me know what you think. If you think it's too cheesy using all plasma all the time, then, you know, let me know in the comments down below. If I've missed a tactic, if I've missed another way I can get it buffed, please tell me and let everyone else know in the comments. It would be lovely to hear. And literally, I'm going to say bye now. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.